Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I recall in our last classes we were discussing chapter 5, international culture. This chapter is relevant to international business model at the Hashimite University Management Department. As we have discussed earlier, the objectives of this chapter was understanding what is a culture and what are the factors that may impact the conception of a culture, cultural differences, and how we can understand them, adapt to them, accept cultural differences. Probably at the end of the chapter we will be discussing one of the frameworks, mostly Hofstede, in terms of understanding a culture and how we can utilize these frameworks or models to anticipate the cultural differences. So it's at the beginning, the introduction, definition of a culture, and the importance of a culture, national stereotypes, cross-cultural management, how should managers understand the cross-cultural differences, and how should they manage properly towards accepting the diversity of cultures. So the definition of a culture, this is, as you can see, this is the formal definition of a culture. However, in my understanding, the culture is what we agree as a community, as a society, on what is right and what is wrong, our behavior, beliefs towards our daily living. So the formal definition of a culture, as you can see, is the sum total of the beliefs, rules, techniques, institutions, and artifacts that characterize human populations. So the culture is, as I have said, is what we agree on what is right, what is wrong. So what could be right for you could be a wrong behavior in another society, and vice versa. So the idea is, the emphasis here within in general culture understanding is accepting other cultures, understanding them, and in terms of business and management, so accepting multi-diverse workforces, beliefs, and how should managers interact with these multi-diverse conceptions and behavior. So what is a culture? As we said, set of values, beliefs, rules, institutions held by a specific group of people. One of the most important and destructive conceptions, and here as a terminology, that a culture may encounter, or a community may encounter, if they misunderstand and they did not accept the multi-diverse cultural behavior, is the terminology of ethnocentricity. Ethnocentricity, as you can see here, is the belief that one's own ethnic group or culture is superior to that of others. So what I understand from the ethnocentricity terminology is that you as a person or a community believe in yourself that you are superior, what you are doing is the right thing, others should follow you, others they are misdoing or wrongdoing things. This is the ethnocentricity. In contrast, what we are required to do is what we need to do is the cultural literacy. Cultural literacy is detailed knowledge of a culture that enables a person to function effectively within it. So you need to understand, know about other cultures. How did they get to this common conception and agreement of behaving or believing in that way? You need to understand it, accept it, and deal with it. So this is the cultural literacy. Once again, the ethnocentricity is destructive. You should know that you are living in a global world with multi-communities, with multi-conceptions and multi-cultures. If each community and culture accepts, understands each other, that means we have a cultural literacy, that means that we have people interacting safely and accepting each other. This is regarding what is a culture. So you can see here a slide talking about cultural matters.